got the, I'm sorry, the S.
No, I love this one.
Turn this just a little bit. Alright, Josh, whenever you're ready.
Clap sync.
Clap sync.
Everybody, welcome to the podcast. As usual, it's me, myself, and I. H to the Izzo, Nelson, and Stephanie's back because we wanted to get... Because we're going to talk about Star Wars The Last Jedi, and we wanted someone with a positive outlook on the movie.
We are going to
be on
talk
the
a lot
We
about
didn't want
Star
to
Wars.
But
shit
first,
completely.
I want to start off with feel that on my PlayStation controller. I'm gonna right there. I'm gonna murder my son.
What do you do?
I don't know, but there's like an indentation on my controller.
Oh.
And
It doesn't come like that.
no, it doesn't.
No,
I might be able to
no.
pry that out, but no, that's just okay. That's part of the molding. That's not a crack. But I may have to kill him.
I would. Sean,
Uh-oh.
count your days.
So for Christmas,
Oh, yeah.
for Christmas, he's getting an ass whooping.
Christmas is canceled.
It is.
No.
And speaking of, by the time this airs, it'll be the day after Christmas, so belated Merry Christmas to everybody. Hanukkah ended yesterday, so happy Hanukkah.
Kwanzaa, I
Izzo,
believe,
you want to
just
wish
started.
Kwanzaa to everybody?
No, but I will say that this episode is brought to you by Canada Dry. It's really not,
Yeah.
but we're drinking it anyway.
Canada Dry Cranberry Ginger Ale. It's your holiday treat. Mix it with a little vodka, it goes down smooth.
Tempted to go get my own can of Canada Dry. I got the green
You didn't
tea
even offer.
Canada
Well, that's because
Dry.
I only had 2 left.
Wow.
And we said we were going up to get drinks. You could have said, hey, grab
you
me
didn't say
something.
shit.
He said he was thirsty. I
Oh.
said, oh, if you're going to get a drink, I'm going to get one too.
So
So
it was kind of in like a low, like,
Yeah.
sub
Oh,
But anyways,
half level.
we're playing Warriors Allstars. It was a game I was going to buy when it first came out. I'm glad I didn't, because while I was at Target today getting some things for the holidays, it was on clearance for $20. I was like,
Which is a
That's
good,
always-
that was a good
sold.
deal right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, get that.
Exactly. I always like the ones that they add in like new characters.
Damn it, I don't get to pick my character from the get up. Oh, I hope I'm not that.
Probably not at the beginning.
Because I want to play as Neo. Because that's me. So to start off the podcast, it was announced today that Sega is partnering with Retrobit
Sega.
to make accessories for Sega systems such as the Genesis, the Mega Drive, the Saturn, and the Dreamcast.
Really?
But why would you make accessories for dead systems? Well, the theory is they're not making accessories. They're making retro systems, much like the SNES Classic and the NES Classic. The SNES Classic, I think someone got that for Christmas. Have you played it yet?
No, I haven't.
I figured you haven't had time yet.
I did connect the Xbox One, though.
Oh,
Yeah, I did see you got your access. Right? So anyway, so there's
So
a
add me. I need friends.
we gotta get your gamer tag later.
at
Yes.
H to the Izzo.
It's the same thing as my Instagram handle.
Oh, okay. Alright,
They
I'll
call
look
me
you up.
as, yeah, well, it'll
But
be down there.
I'll look you up when we're done recording.
yeah, you're
so
gonna
I
regret
can do it from
requesting
the app.
people to add you as friends. So the theory is that we're gonna get some retro systems
That'd be
because
cool.
we are gonna get more information coming at CES in Vegas.
2018?
Yes.
Okay.
So that's February or the end of January?
No, it's like January.
Yeah, it's the end
Yeah,
of
yeah.
January. So I know it's always right around my birthday, whether it's like happening that week or the next week.
Yeah.
So we should know more by then. So a lot of people. Oh, cool! I do get the pick.
Ooh, there's a cat. There's like a weird anime cat.
I don't give a shit. We know who I'm being.
I just wanted to see what it looked like.
Wait, so didn't we play this game a while ago, or?
No, it was
No,
another.
no.
It was another.
It was another
Warriors
Dynasty
game.
Warriors game.
Okay.
We've all played this game 5,000 times.
Yeah.
'Cause we've all played several Dynasty Warriors games. I played.
Yeah.
You played one, you played them all. It's just whatever.
I played Hyrule
Right.
Warrior, which was also the Zelda Dynasty Warriors game, and now
Okay.
they've got a Fire Emblem Warriors, which I need to get.
Gotcha.
And I don't know if it's backwards compatible yet, but on the 360 there is Dynasty Warriors Skybound.
So I do have the PlayStation version of that.
Oh, do you?
Yes.
It's annoyingly hard the very first level.
Yes.
In fact, I
yes.
never beat it.
Oh!
The first level. Because
That
I
thing
was
just
freaking
comboed the
original
shit
Gundam.
out of me, and I'm almost dead.
What is that thing? Oh man, you need to get out of there.
It's like Vulture from Spider-Man.
Oh, you picked Neo, huh? We're gonna be Neo level difficulty.
That would be so terrible if they're like, oh, you picked the Dark Souls equivalent from a Tecmo game? Alright, get it.
Here's all the demons. All of them.
God, Neo was so hard. It was a lot of fun, but damn, was it hard. It is Dark Souls hard, too.
Honestly, watching you play it, it did kind of remind me of a Dynasty Warriors a little bit.
What, Neo?
Yeah.
No.
Just Well, I mean,
Because
didn't-
I'm hacking and slashing right now.
Yeah.
You can't do that in Neo because you have stamina. That shit runs out quick,
Okay.
and you're like, oh, screw it. What
hell
are
are
these?
those?
jellies, eat them, kill them.
Yeah, you gotta kill those two.
Oh,
why do they
they're
look
so
so happy?
angry.
They're happy. And
Nope, they're frowning now.
Yeah, they look so sad.
They got red bars over them.
Yeah,
they're
so
bad
they-
guys.
That's
They gotta
because
die.
you are slashing them. You are literally killing
They're like,
them.
why are they killing me?
If they got red bars above their head and you can hit them, that means they're enemies.
Now this is what I wish Neo was: easy and slashable.
I like to see what these things actually
Look
do
what's
to
going
you,
on in the
though.
back.
Oh, my boy Ryu Hayabusa needs help.
Go get them.
I'm coming, Ryu.
Shut up, Josh.
So I'm gonna move. Normally,
So we gonna talk about this movie or what?
oh,
What
we
are
want a
gonna
second. So normally I save the thoughtable for the end of the podcast, but
Seeing how we're gonna just destroy Last Jedi.
do? Oh,
no, but the thoughtable
Okay.
for this is going to be regarding to our first story. So what? And you don't have to name a bunch, but if we do get retro systems
When
for
we do, because it looks like it's probably
when we get
coming.
these retro systems, choose 2 systems of the 4 listed and name 5 games you'd like to see that were out on the system. You can't just say like, oh, I want Dark Souls on the Dreamcast. No, that does not how this works. And pick 5 games from those 2 systems that you would like to see on the its retro system, if it's going to be that way. Personally, I think if they're going to do a retro like Dreamcast or Saturn, I think it's not going to be like the classic. I think it's going to be they're just going to reissue the system.
Essentially reissue.
Because I
Maybe
don't see how
redesign.
you can get a lot of Dreamcast games on an affordable mini system like the SNES Classic. So Izzo, you can go first.
So I think I'm gonna start with the Genesis. With that, gosh, Altered Beast, Streets of Rage,
Yeah.
definitely. Was Street Fighter 2 Turbo was on there too, right?
Champion Edition was
Yeah.
on there.
Okay.
Oh,
Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo was on there as well too.
Yep.
And I'm always a big fan of the Sonic games, so bring back Sonic and Knuckles, and
I
I'm
mean,
good.
those are probably those are
Yeah.
those are all
those
safe
are-
games.
Yeah, those
actually.
are,
Yeah,
those
yeah,
definitely
yeah.
given.
Yeah, those are all games that will probably be on there.
Yeah. Yeah, give me my Capcom games and I'm good.
Yeah.
All right, so pick another system.
Another system.
See, I didn't play enough to be able to pick.
Yeah, I'm not sure I could.
Yeah,
name
uh,
5,
Soul
but
Calibur
we'll
would
try.
be one on Dreamcast.
Yeah.
That's one that I played a lot of.
Yeah.
It would be interesting to see the Saturn come back.
Yeah, it would be very interesting.
You know, to see what they do with that, but I doubt that it will.
I feel like if they do that, I don't know how many games would be on there.
Yeah.
Just to say something, this is well worth $19.
It looks like it. It looks pretty awesome.
But as far as games for the Saturn, I don't really know.
I don't even
Knights,
remember.
Virtua Cop, Daytona would have to come back.
Daytona can.
They would probably try to put
Look at these motherfuckers.
Yeah, what the hell are these?
what the hell was that game
Onis?
called? Shenmue.
Shenmue would be Dreamcast.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought we were still talking Saturn. So Izzo, do you have a second system with 5 games you want to name, or are you good?
5 games is a lot.
I would say the Sega Saturn, but as far as 5 games, yeah,
I couldn't name 5 games
Yeah.
off the Saturn.
No.
yeah.
Like Street Fighter Alpha.
Battle
That
Arena
series,
Toshinda,
okay.
Virtua Fighter, Virtua Cop, Knights. God, Knights. Panzer
Let's
Dragoon.
pull it up.
Right.
What was
I think I
on
just knocked out 5 for the
Sega
Saturn.
I think you just knocked out the entire lineup.
Yeah, there were more than
exactly.
that.
Exactly.
games?
Okay, so Nelson, you want to go?
Yeah, I'll go.
I figure if you do Dreamcast, you're not gonna have probably similar games.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say Dreamcast would definitely be one that I'd like to see. You probably wouldn't have a lot of games, but I think you'd have more than you would originally think.
Remember, you don't have to stick to first party because the NES and SNES Classic has.
Oh yeah, I
Third-party
mean,
games.
with Dreamcast, if I had my way and was able to get them on there without having to use the physical discs, which I think is possible, it just wouldn't be a whole lot. I would say you'd have to have Soul Calibur. That's a definite. Marvel vs. Capcom 2 would need to be on there.
Yeah.
Because that is definitely one of those games that everyone who ever played it really just remembers fondly.
Right.
I mean, I still have my Dreamcast copy of that.
Rayman. I remember Rayman.
I would say Shenmue would definitely have to be on a Dreamcast.
Yeah, you'd have to have both Shenmue 1 and 2.
Yeah. You know, if it came out on the Dreamcast, I'd say they'd probably throw on Shenmue 3, but they put that on the Xbox, so that definitely wouldn't fit on there.
No, there's never been a Shenmue 3.
No, there. Oh wait,
That's
no.
what's
I'm sorry.
That's what's being crowdfunded right now for the
I'm
PlayStation.
sorry. Shenmue 2 I got for Devin on the Xbox.
Yeah, it's like
I don't.
I was like, please argue with me because we'll do a slap bet and I'll win.
No. I'm not that dumb.
You're not Chandler dumb?
No. Freaking. Did it come out on the Dreamcast? Shenmue 2?
Yeah.
I just saw
Okay,
it.
I didn't know.
I don't know if it got a release in the US.
Oh no, it did, Josh, because I bought it for Devin on the Xbox.
on the Dreamcast.
On the Dreamcast, no, I don't believe it did.
No, the first one was on there.
Yeah.
Only the first one, because the second one was it wasn't dubbed.
Get yourself.
The second one was subtitled only, which kind of killed it for Devin.
Oh, your man's got a nice special
On
move.
there.
Oh, yeah, Ryu? Yeah, that's Ryu from
Yeah,
Dead
but
or
it was
Alive
on the
and
Xbox,
Ninja
and-
Gaiden.
when I got it, it wasn't dubbed. There was no English dub. There was only
Get it how
Japanese
you
audio
live,
and subtitles.
bitches!
It's okay. There's nothing wrong
Which,
with that.
I mean, depending on your viewing habits, you may or may not be able to deal with that.
Oh,
Dude,
Jet
I have
Set Radio.
300
I played that like crazy.
Jet Set
on
Radio was
Xbox.
the shit.
Yeah, Jet Set Radio would definitely have to
Yeah.
be on there. Honestly, as much as I liked Sonic on the Genesis, I wasn't a huge fan of the Sonic Adventure games.
Neither was I.
So I don't know that I would put them on there, but they probably would be on there. Actually, you know what? Skies of Arcadia was also very popular, so I think that would have to be on there too. But just for Josh, even though it would be useless without the attachment.
Typing of the Dead?
Seaman.
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 Seaman was great.
Yeah, I mean, it would be almost next to useless without the attachment, but...
Well, I mean, they'd have to give you the attachment
Yeah,
for
I
the
know.
game on there.
Yeah.
So I would say Marvel vs. Capcom 1 and 2. At
For
the very least 2
Dreamcast?
for Dreamcast, yeah.
Yeah, definitely 2. I would like
Shenmue
to
1
see
and 2, the
one.
Sonic Adventures games, doesn't matter if you guys don't like them, they were pretty
I mean,
popular.
they were popular, so I would imagine they would be on there.
The
Yeah.
2K sports games, like, give me
NBA and NFL.
NBA, NFL, and NHL. The World Series, the baseball games for the Dreamcast weren't that great. Virtua Tennis.
Oh, I forgot about Virtual Tennis.
Typing of the Dead.
I forgot about Typing of the Dead.
House of the Dead.
Yeah. Though, what really annoyed me about House of the Dead on Dreamcast was...
You say the voice acting, I'm gonna smack you.
No,
That's
I
great.
was, if I remember correctly, I could be misremembering this. I don't believe there was a first-party gun.
No, because of, that came out, like, with all the school shootings,
Yeah.
like, right around the same time.
So I think
So,
there's a Mad Cat's gun.
Mad Catch, yeah, so it's like, we're not
Yeah,
doing
and
that.
that kind of annoyed me because I don't completely remember because this was around the time I actually worked at GameStop. I don't remember them being that good.
Oh, it was Mad Cat's. Okay.
Yeah, Mad Catz wasn't that great, so it already had that going for it. So I don't remember those guns being good. They didn't even look cool. They were just
well, I think they tried to, like, okay, this has the shape of a gun, but we're not making it look like a gun.
it looked like a Nerf gun with that
Yeah.
could shoot darts because it was green and it had some orange on there.
Yeah, I think their intention was to make something that did not look anything remotely
Yeah.
like a gun.
Because I mean, it would have been cool if they had like I don't know the Time Crisis guns, which those were badass.
Yeah, well, I had that for the PlayStation.
I remember when
2?
you bought it. Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
when you bought it. The funny thing is, I think you had a racing wheel and pedal, and I think you were actually able to use the pedal.
Yep.
That was really cool. So it pretty much made it almost 1-to-1 the same experience in the arcade.
That was a lot of fun. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, those were also really good games. I would like to see those come back.
But yeah, so the Sonic Adventure games, the Shenmue games, Marvel vs. Capcom games. I can't believe, Nelson, you didn't mention this. Phantasy Star Online.
Yep, I forgot all about that. Sorry.
You don't have to apologize to me. Apologize to our friends and family watching this right now. On this very
No.
Yuletide episode as I hack and slash through all these bastards.
The jelly's on fire!
I hope this is just the training level, because usually, like, in these games, they're like, okay, attack this spot, and you gotta run to a spot.
Yeah. Yeah, if I remember correctly, the the other Dynasty Warriors game that came out that we played last time, which was I think an Xbox Live Arcade games with gold type deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't really give you much instruction. You just gotta
Well,
go
didn't
through.
it crash on us too?
It might have crashed once, and then I think it started over.
Get it how you live.
Yeah, it might take a while, but you're just supposed to figure everything out.
The Hyrule Warriors was fantastic.
It looked really cool. Did that come out on the Switch?
No,
Only in the Wii?
Yeah. Firestar Emblem Warriors is what's out on the Switch, which I need to get eventually. I got too many games to play, and the only reason why I bought this was because it was dirt cheap.
Yeah.
Nice.
Like, if this store would have been full price, I'd have been like, nah.
No.
This one
I,
$60?
$60? No.
I can't condone
Hard pass.
buying one of these games at full price.
Yeah, because I almost bought this when it first came out.
Mm.
I guess that means like it's a gate I can't get through yet.
Yeah, like I can't condone buying one of these games at full price unless it's like a super special like version, like the Hyrule Warriors. Like I'd be like, okay, I'll probably buy that.
I do kind of like the mixing of like realistic graphics with like cartoony graphics.
Yeah,
really
it's
shows-
interesting.
I think
Like
we
this
have,
realistic dude
kill
slashing away
everything.
at cartoon jelly.
Oh no, I gotta reach the target destination. So I gotta reach that flag.
Ah, okay. Whew.
Word. So.
Yeah,
moving
so
on?
yeah, we can move on. We can talk about your favorite movie.
We'll let
So.
Lisa go first.
Here we go.
So, I walked out of the theater after seeing this movie, and I was very, very confused. Maybe in the fact that I didn't know if I liked the movie, and I'm still trying to.
That's why I had to see it a second time. But go on.
Yeah,
Right,
I think
exactly.
I still need to see it a
So-
second time too.
So I walked out very confused. What I will say is that the visuals were amazing, and I'm going to spoil some things. And
I was
that's
about to
okay.
ask, are we doing
So-
spoilers?
Oh, yeah, okay.
We have to.
Spoiler warning: you have 10 seconds to get out of here. 9, 8, 7,
Well, don't leave.
6,
Just fast forward.
5, 4, 3, 2,
Oh, I'm not
1.
gonna have time to say.
Spoilers are coming. I don't want to hear anybody in the comments bitch.
So, the opening sequence.
Yes.
Let's talk about Poe in that X-wing.
Woo!
Yep.
A god in that X-wing.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
But
That was pretty
that
badass.
freaking J turn he pulls.
yes,
Yes.
yes.
Over to Josh. I'm
I
like,
was like, get it, dude.
I leaned over to Josh. I'm like, I
He's-
didn't know you could do a J turn in the X-wing.
Right.
Look,
Exactly.
he was pulling things that Luke couldn't do in the X-wing.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
You know, but
You mean that one that was sunken in the water?
exactly right. So, but with that opening scene though, you started coming to the realization that dang, everything that he's doing, he's essentially getting his whole entire team murked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
there was a lot of death in this movie.
Well,
Like,
in my
I
defense
was
of
like-
that, like, and Leia, like, giving him shit, that was a
She
Dreadnought
slapped
Star
him.
Destroyer. That thing would have run them down. Like, everything that happened, like, after that, that Star Destroyer would have ran them down. Yes, at the time, he was reckless because, like, they didn't know they were going to be tracked through hyperspace. But they would have never outrun a Dreadnought Star Destroyer
Yeah.
in that situation. So, in hindsight, his recklessness saved the Resistance.
Yeah.
And he doesn't get any credit for that.
I would still argue that because I think that there could have been a better way of handling this instead of going gung-ho and just allowing all those bombers to essentially get destroyed.
Well, that's also the Resistance fault, because why the hell are those bombers so slow? Why did they switch from the Y-Wing?
Yeah.
Because the Y-Wing, which was the original
They weren't very
Rebellion bomber, those were a lot faster than that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I
So
don't-
I
they bought
don't
some
know.
bad equipment.
Oh, exactly. But let's talk about this whole tracking through hyperspace because this is a new concept to me. Like,
Well,
And
apparently
I
it was
love
like,
the
It's
like-
to them too.
yeah, apparently like as an Easter egg set up in Rogue One where there was a file about like them
What?
trying to develop tracking. Yeah, one of the files when Jin's trying to find the Death Star plans is like light speed tracking or hyperspace tracking, something like that.
okay.
So is that their way of like putting Rogue One into
Yeah.
like plugging Rogue One in?
But
Yeah.
but my biggest problem with this movie is they had the greatest setup, and outside of Luke essentially tossing his lightsaber, they completely destroyed the best alley-oop in my opinion. You know what I mean? Because I left the theater with more questions than answers. One, the plot was just all over the place. I could not keep up. You know what I mean? It was.
There was a lot going on.
There was a lot going on. I don't know, man. Like, I spent an hour and a half talking to not only my boss but other coworkers about this movie, and I'm actually at a point where, like, if I continue to talk about it, I'm only gonna get more and more upset. You know what I mean? So, like, so easily not my favorite of the three Star Wars movies in the last few years, but I will have to see it again just to one, try to wrap my head around everything that I saw the first time around, because it really was a lot. But
yeah, I will say it gets better on the second viewing because
Josh was saying that
I was kind of in the same boat as you. I still have certain complaints, like I don't like the way they handled Luke. Especially like I hate the scene where he tosses the lightsaber because it's done for like a comedic effect, and we had that powerful like. I feel like if there's your anime cat.
That actually kind of confused me when he did it. I'm like, really?
Yeah, I think if he didn't want it, like he should have refused, and then she finally forces him to take it, and he throws it away like he did in Jedi. That's what I felt he should have done. Instead of tossing it over his shoulder, toss it to the side just like he did in Jedi when the Emperor told him to strike down Darth Vader.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, so in this is the way that it was more or less explained to me. So, the scenario that you're talking about is what most people would expect.
Yeah.
So, you know, with the first movie, The Force Awakens, we see this very climactic, you know, cliffhanger, and we're fantasizing, we're thinking about all the possible things that could happen when, you know, Rey presents this lightsaber. Mm-hmm. The last thing that we think about is Luke tossing it over his shoulder and walking off. You know what I mean? So,
I need to interrupt you. Check out the rack on that anime cat.
Oh
Dear God. Stephanie's jealous right now. That's why she put her head down.
So getting back to The Last Jedi.
It's just so amazing how quickly his attention is taken.
Well, I'm reading the things in the game because I'm going to play this past the podcast. I want to know what's going on in the story.
Excuses, whatever. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So all right. So let's talk about the Salt Planet scene. Okay.
I had my issues with that as well.
So
what was your issues?
It wasn't so much an issue for me. I honestly thought that the movie was going to end with Luke showing up in front of that entire army, and I probably would have been okay with that. Mm-hmm. But they dragged it out, and they allowed the ending to be this little boy that has semi-Jedi powers, I guess, with a broom. It's like,
dude, they're going to be gray Jedi.
I mean, I'm sure they would.
I would be so happy if they did that.
But
I don't think JJ's going to touch on any of that because I think JJ Abrams is pissed off that Rian Johnson took all the things he set up in Episode 7 and tossed them aside.
Yeah, he threw them away.
I think there's a reason why JJ's back for 9 because he saw what was going on with 8 and it pissed him the fuck off. Like, he might be saying all the right...
Then you should have been the director to begin with.
Well, that wasn't the plan. The plan was to get 3 different directors.
But now you're having 2.
Well, no, because then they had signed Rian Johnson on to do 9, and then they decided not to, which I think JJ had something to do with that. And
does he still have his own trilogy that he's doing, Rian Johnson?
Sadly, yes, he is.
See, that's the other thing that this movie did.
Star Wars movies.
Really?
See, that's the thing that's the other thing this movie did to me. It's like at first I was like, okay, I liked Looper. Let's see how Last Jedi plays out because I hadn't seen it yet.
Right.
After seeing this movie, I still like Looper, but I question how good of a director Rian Johnson is. He still seems to be a very new director.
Well, I don't think he's a bad director. I think the way he shot the film was fine.
Yeah.
It's his writing I have a problem
His writing
with.
was horrible because in the end you have so many plot holes.
Let's
talk about Snook.
Oh, Snook!
Where did Snook come from? How did he get so powerful?
It apparently doesn't matter now.
We're not gonna cover this.
Yeah,
see,
we're gonna off him with a remote controlled lightsaber.
We didn't necessarily need an origin of Snoke, but. I mean, like, if you think about the Emperor, like, I never needed the prequels to know about the Emperor. Darth Vader helped him rise.
Snoke came in on the
Wait, hold on.
Sorry.
Darth Vader helped him rise to power. He was the Emperor of the Empire. Like, we had that. And even though we didn't really see him until the third film, we just saw a hologram of him in the second film.
Right.
his presence was always felt, and he was menacing, and you had enough backstory of him with Obi-Wan's story about the dark times and the Empire and all that stuff like that. With Snoke, we got zero backstory.
Nothing.
We got to see a hologram of him in the first movie, and we were expecting to see more of him in the second film, and maybe get glimpses of that backstory.
Right. Yeah, like I needed.
Where
I
does
would
he
like
come
just a little
from?
bit.
Yeah.
Right.
Where
Just
does
a
he
little
come
bit.
from? How did he? How was he trained? Was he always this powerful?
Yeah, because the thing
Is
that they
it-
set up was like in the books was like he was there before the Empire,
Yeah.
and he's seen the fall of the Empire.
Yeah.
And my problem is like, and a lot of people are like trying to defend like Snoke's backstory. Oh, maybe they'll explain it in a book. No, that's not how you do it.
Yeah.
Right.
If you have a film, everything needs to be explained in the movies,
movie.
not supplemental
Yeah.
material.
Yeah, because
Right.
not everyone's gonna read that.
No.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Exactly.
And-
So let's talk about. Oh man, there's so much to talk about.
I will say though, Snoke getting killed though was pretty badass.
But the way he got killed was stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You would think it would be a little bit more
I like that
climactic.
the ensuing fight, but I also had my issues with that as well.
Yeah.
There's a couple things, and these are gonna be nitpicks, and Josh is just gonna roll his eyes at me. Starting with Rey's training scene.
I wanted to talk about that. How do you become a master in 2 days?
Well, see
She's
that
supposed to
that
be
brings
acting.
that brings the biggest problem with Rey from the first movie. Like Max Landis, son of John Landis, and Max has got his own stuff. Like he writes a bunch of movies and stuff like that. He actually wrote what was that found footage superhero movie with Michael B. Jordan in it? Chronicle. He wrote Chronicle.
Okay.
Just to give you like a backstory, like what Max Landis has done.
Mm.
And he was complaining about The Force Awakens that Rey was a Mary Sue. Which, for those of you who don't know what a Mary Sue is, it's like the perfect character. Look at the chick from the Twilight movie. She's a Mary Sue. Where it's kind of like this character is the ex machina, can do anything that the plot needs this character to do.
Right.
Has almost
Yeah,
no
how
faults.
can she fly the Falcon?
Yeah,
How
it-
can
it's
she-
just kinda
she
like-
can just pick it
and
up
that-
Oh
and
yeah,
that
and
just-
she could be Gunner just as
I
good
know.
as
Right.
everything
and
else.
that just kind of like in this movie kind of added on to the Mary Sue qualities of
Yeah.
Rey, to where she just she becomes a better Jedi than Luke was in Empire,
Yes.
and
Right.
not even doing as much training as Luke did with Yoda
Yeah.
Right.
in Empire. And it's just, and I feel that Kylo saying her parents are from nothing.
Mm.
I honestly think Rian Johnson meant that when he wrote it, but he's backtracked on that because I think JJ's like, no, I'm changing that.
Yeah.
So he's kind of
I was like, that's getting wrecked.
So Ryan
Right.
Johnson is like, been like, well, maybe
How
Kylo was
can you
lying
change
to her.
that, though?
Well, easy. You make it Kylo was lying to her to get her to join.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which is an easy fix, thankfully, because we didn't see Rey's parents.
Yeah.
So it's an easy fix. But, yeah, like for her to be this powerful, I feel she has to have lineage. She has to be a Skywalker. She has to
Yeah.
be a Kenobi. She
Yes.
has to be.
Kenobi.
She has to be
I want her
a
to be
descendant
a Kenobi.
of somebody who was strong with the Force.
Kenobi.
Because just for someone to come out of nowhere
Right.
and be like the most powerful character, and be the most
No
most
more
OP
Skywalker
character.
lineage.
Well, no, that's
I
the
want a Kenobi.
No, that's the problem. The saga movies are about the Skywalkers.
I get that, but let's go different.
Then you do that with the stupid anthology movies, which, again, I called it. I called it after The Force Awakens. Disney is going to ruin Star Wars because they're going to shove it down our throats. They're going to not take their time and write them, and it's not one person's visions anymore. It's a committee, and look what we've got.
But hold
Rogue
on, hold on.
One,
This,
when you-
no, hold on. Rogue One was a good movie. Force
watch,
Awakens.
watch Rogue One again.
I've watched
I
it
don't
more than
think
once.
It's the greatest.
It's
Rogue
so,
One-
I
so
don't-
it's better than The Last Jedi.
After a second viewing of The Last
teetering
Jedi,
on that
I don't
one.
care. No. So okay, I'm gonna go see
Okay,
The Last Jedi
let me-
again. But
I think I'm gonna have to go see
other
it
than
again.
Jyn Erso,
I might try
name
tomorrow.
me 4 characters. Give me names of 4 characters from Rogue One.
Ooh.
why does that even matter?
Because if a
it's-
movie's good, the
it's
characters need to
remember.
be need to be memorable
Yes.
enough for you to know their name.
They were all going to die anyway.
I know that's the point.
See, I can't
They were
remember.
Why do I
all
need
they
to
were
remember?
they were all disposable because other than Jin, I can name Cassian. I can't even name his name right. Cassio,
Yeah,
Cassius,
Cassian.
Cassian. That's the only other than like
I like
Grand
the
Moff
droid.
Tarkin.
I like the droid.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
Alan Arkin.
Wait, what was his name?
K2SO.
K2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
K9.
But that's
K2.
that's the biggest problem with Rogue One. All the characters we're introduced to are disposable
Yeah.
and they're not memorable.
They had to be.
and
Yeah,
and also
yeah, exactly.
also
They
they
had
had
to
to be.
die.
also the worst part about Rogue One is they all die after they serve their purpose. So, like, the one guy was supposed to get the transmission up. He gets a grenade tossed into a ship afterwards. They were supposed the two guardians of the Jedi Temple. They die as soon as they protect the message long enough to get to him. Like, it's just kind of like
they had to.
We talk about
hold on. So the Last Jedi, Luke didn't give the rebellion time to escape before he came on with the Force. I mean, like.
Oh no, I'll get to that too.
Okay,
but what I'm saying is, Rogue One.
Like that,
Rogue One. One of my biggest problems with Rogue One is every character there is a set piece. They're not a character. They're a device to move the plot forward, and that's bad characterization. Because I'm attacking this from a writer's point of view.
And that's fine, but I think the same thing happened in The Last Jedi. Let's talk about the commander, the purple-haired commander chick. You know what I mean? Like, there's no background on her.
Well, here, and people who watch my Fireside Chat, this will kind of be a rehash for them, so I'll go with all my complaints with some of these new characters. Yes. Her character, Moto. I don't know how you pronounce it. It's M-O-T-O.
Tomato. That's
Tomato.
Yeah, Vice Admiral Moto. So here's my problem with her character. She was kind of completely unneeded because we kill off Admiral Akbar basically off screen, stuff like that. Her whole scene, her sacrifice, it would have been.
It was amazing.
It was
amazing.
awesome.
I was like, Jesus, that's beautiful.
Theater when
but
we
it would have been.
Damn. Like,
it would have been a better
theater
scene
said the same
if that was
thing.
Admiral Akbar doing that.
It would have been better if
or
it was
Leia. Or Leia doing
okay.
it.
But what is Leia
So
doing
hold
now?
on,
She's
so
hanging
hold
out
on.
in the
Well,
background.
the problem with Leia is we don't know what they're going to do with Leia. Because Carrie Fisher's dead.
What the
hold on.
fuck is she doing?
But
How did she survive that blast? She got
That
murked.
was definitely a problem I had.
Okay, here, wait. Everyone's getting that. I'll explain
How the fuck
it.
she flipped back to the ship?
I was like-
Now, what does that serve?
Okay,
I was like,
here's the explanation.
Sir, I can't see no.
And it's a shitty explanation. So to retcon what Disney's done with retconning, and here's my big, and this is gonna sound sexist, and I'm not coming off as sexist. Here's my biggest problem with Kathleen Kennedy being in charge of Lucasfilm.
Okay.
She is trying to make all the female characters the strongest character because there is a book out. I have not read it, but I was watching something about it where basically Yoda and this is like off screen of Empire.
Yeah.
Yoda and Obi-Wan have a conversation where Yoda didn't want to train Luke. He thinks Luke's worthless. He wanted to train Leia. Leia's the stronger Jedi. So this connects to The Last Jedi, which is why she can get blasted off to space, die, come back to life, and Superman her ass way back to the ship.
Explained that
Exactly,
before in any
because
of the movies.
this is Kathleen Kennedy wanting to make all the strong characters
When she floated
female.
back into that ship,
Because look at it.
I
Look
was
at
like,
it.
what is
Who's
going
our main
on?
character? Who's our main character in Rogue One? Jyn Erso,
Yeah.
a female. Who's our main hero in the new Star Wars movies? Rey,
Right.
a female. So it's Kathleen Kennedy modeling the Star Wars universe after herself to make all the strong characters female. Because if you also look at it, the surviving resistance leaders, all female after the bridge gets exploded. It's the purple hair chick. It's that chick with that big nose who I could not stop staring at the entire movie, man. That freaking nose on her, man. Maybe she's Kylo's real mother. Because holy shit, her and Adam Driver have got some big noses on them. But if you look at like all the strong characters in the new Star Wars franchises are all female.
Yeah.
And I don't have a problem with strong female characters, but it goes back to the whole my problem with the new Ghostbusters thing. And I haven't watched the trailer yet, but the new Ocean's 11, which is only 8.
I don't even
Ocean's
want to
8,
see it.
Yeah,
And
they're
I don't
shoving
wanna see
like
it.
when you shove, like when you're like strong female,
Yeah.
strong female, it gets a pushback, and also it doesn't fit narratively. Like, and it's like we get two strong females chastising frickin' Poe in this movie on multiple occasions.
Yeah.
So if there wasn't some underlining SJW, which I'm shocked we haven't heard about, because there was a lot of people bitching about Rey being the main character in the first one. I'm shocked we haven't heard that much bitching about this, because I did take notice that, especially the second time viewing, I was like, there's a lot of strong female leads here, and they're berating the men a lot.
Yeah.
And I was just kind of like, this doesn't quite fit, and this has been my biggest problem with Disney. It's taking over Lucasfilm, because now it's become a collaboration of a bunch of people, where for better or worse, Star Wars was always one man's vision with George Lucas.
Right.
And so I always felt that was better narratively.
Okay.
Because the thing is, like, all the original 6 films all fit together narratively. You can tell it's one person working on it with a little bit of help here and there. Like, he had help on Empire from the director Ivan, I can't think of his name right now, and then help with writing Jedi. No, not Ivan Reitman.
Spielberg or
no,
Steven Spielberg?
I'd have to look it up.
Okay.
We want Spielberg.
He asked Spielberg he asked Spielberg to direct Jedi. Spielberg turned it down.
Okay.
But you can see with Episode 7, you can see with Episode 8, you can see with Rogue One, they're all three separate because they have separate directors with separate styles and separate visions directing them. And then we also have a collaboration of people working on the story.
Yeah.
And that's been my biggest problem, and it really showed through here because Rian Johnson basically ignored everything that JJ set up or just tossed it aside. Because I felt like Rian Johnson, what he did with this film, I don't even know if Rian Johnson likes Star Wars. Because after watching this,
what Rian
questioned
Johnson
it
did
myself
with this film is what Luke did with that fucking lightsaber. It's like,
yeah, because A, he ignored everything JJ did, and it seemed like if the fans had a theory about something, he purposely did the opposite of what the popular theory was.
Yeah.
And it was almost like trolling the fans.
Yeah.
And I think that's my biggest problem with the movie is we had all this set up in the first movie and no payoff.
Yeah.
Like zero payoff with any of it. But the worst thing this film did was with the trailers and the way the story was setting up, it was setting up a Kylo redemption and a Rey turning to the dark side. How awesome would that movie end?
That would have been awesome.
If Kylo turns to the light and then Rey turns to the dark.
Yeah.
Because that's something we've never seen in a Star Wars film.
Yeah.
That would have been fantastic.
Yeah, double turn. That would have been. That definitely would have thrown the audience.
I actually said that, Nelson. Double turn to my fireside chat. It's like for all the wrestling fans watching this video, that's what we in the wrestling biz call a double turn.
Yeah, that's only happened once. Really, it was Stone Cold and Bret Hart.
Well, no, it's happened several times in wrestling, but that would have been.
But the most notable.
That would have been so cool to see that in a Star Wars movie.
I agree.
See Rey, especially because it looked like they were set up because Luke was like, "You went straight to the dark." And Rey kept saying there's good in Kylo, I can turn him and stuff like that.
Right.
And so that would have been really cool to see Kylo become good, Rey turn bad.
Mm-hmm.
So, there's just... That movie structurally is a mess because, like, we haven't even touched on the casino scene yet.
Yeah, I've come to the conclusion
this is how you fix that. You cut a half hour of that movie and fix this so Rose and Finn still have a plot. And even if you want Benicio del Toro, this is how you write the scene. Benicio del Toro is in one of their holding cells. He's a slicer they picked up on that planet they're evacuating. Mm-hmm. They threw him in the brig. They weren't going to leave him to die because they're the good guys. And they're like, hey, you can help us get aboard this ship. And they just like stealthily get aboard the Dreadnought. Mm-hmm. Then you can still have them getting caught and Benicio del Toro turning on them and stuff like that. You can still have all that. But we saved like 30 minutes by not going to that stupid planet.
Yeah, that
which was
annoying.
Very prequelist. I even leaned to Nelson. I was like, Nelson, this whole subplot is going to remind you of the prequels.
Yeah, and you weren't wrong.
And I feel that whole thing was written into the movie so we could get Rian Johnson telling us how it's bad to have horse racing and keep animals captive. Like he was trying to get a message across. I guess he's against gambling and people who make weapons and horse racing.
Is this true?
I don't know, but that's what I'm saying. That's the vibe you got.
That's what it seems like.
Because Rose was beating it over our heads like, this place is terrible. It's disgusting. And then Finn, who thought it was great, and with really no evidence to change his mind, he's like, yes, that place was terrible.
Yes.
So it's almost like Rian Johnson's trying to, like,
that
send us a message, but he did it terribly.
Cut, or I would have preferred it just been written differently, but I could have dealt with it being cut.
Yeah.
And, like, I'll tell you one thing. I need to know what Maz Kanata was doing that was more important than stopping the First Order. Because there's literally like 400 resistance people left in existence. Like, she's like, a union dispute.
Oh, no.
Okay, this union dispute is not more important than stopping the First Order from coming to power. Because pretty much everything they've told us about the First Order, they're worse than the Empire.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, what are you doing that's actually more important than helping out these resistance fighters right now?
And that freaking Weasley. He was so bad in this movie.
I know, and he's not a bad actor.
He's not a bad actor at all. I love him as an actor. Gleason is a great actor.
He was like, and I had to rewatch The Force Awakens. I was like, I don't remember Husk being this sniveling in the first one. Yeah. And no, Husk is menacing in the first one. He's very Tarkin-esque in,
Husk was great
in Episode 7. Mm-hmm. And in this one, he's more sniveling. and
out of
annoying
me.
and bumbling.
Yes.
And that's
Yeah.
all Ryan Johnson. That's not the actor.
No.
Because we saw how he was with JJ directing
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
And then
Almost like Hitler-like. Like he
Yeah.
was...
Yeah.
And like the only menacing first order officer was the guy in the dreadnought.
Yeah.
I wanted more
Yeah.
of that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why couldn't he have escaped? Because I was like,
know.
Yeah.
and also a lot of the humor didn't work. for that
No,
movie.
it didn't.
Like, the only
and that
humor-
was my huge
The
thing
only
about it.
humor I liked in the movie was
They
Poe's
overdid the shitty jokes.
was Poe's like "Can you hear me now" thing.
Yeah.
Because
That
I
was
felt
funny.
I felt they dragged that like the
Yeah.
first
Yes,
two times.
they did.
That's when they should have stopped.
They
But I
did.
think he did it like 4 times
Yes.
on Holding
Yeah.
for Us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they dragged that joke out too far because the one thing he carried over was Poe's sense of humor because the first time Poe meets Snoke in the first
Yeah.
movie, he's like, so do I talk now? Do you talk
Yeah.
now? How do we do this?
Right.
That worked for me. Chewie trying to eat the porg, and then
Yeah.
all the porgs
Oh,
seemed to
that
say,
was
like,
you're eating
That
my
was-
friend.
that
that
was
was
great.
that was pretty
hilarious.
that
That
was
was
pretty
funny.
funny.
But then when they were on the freaking Millennium Falcon, when they were doing their rescue mission, that fucking porg that kept bouncing all over the place was
Yeah.
annoying.
the first time it was funny, and then they kept doing it, and it got annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then the other joke I liked was when Kylo set all the lasers on Luke, and Husk is like, "Do you think you got him?" That was because
Right.
that was natural. I could see an
Yeah.
officer saying that to another officer in that situation.
Right.
Well, that red
And-
sand planet, or red salt planet, when that first shot was hit with Luke, I was like, did they just explode him?
Sean,
Yeah, I know.
dude,
I know.
Sean looked at me and said, "If they kill Luke this way, I will hate Star Wars forever."
Oh, no, he's a youngin'.
He's dead.
But I did, and also I did like it when after the blast was done, Luke was just
Yeah.
Jay-Z
Yeah.
in it.
I didn't like that though. That
Oh, I
that,
did.
that-
I
that-
liked it. I did.
So
I did.
so to me, like that seemed like very like that's something that they would do on Earth. Like
Well,
This is Star Wars, so-
the problem with this movie is the humor is very in the moment 2017 humor.
Right.
Like if you
Right.
watch that movie 10 years from now, even the jokes
people
we
won't
said
probably
that
get it.
worked,
Yeah.
we probably won't like.
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
Also,
And then,
a line-
like, at
a
the
line-
end of the fight, he was like, "I'll see you around, kid."
That was
I was
good.
like,
A line that bugged the shit out of me though, and I think it might have been the Vice Admiral who said it, but someone said "Godspeed, Rebels."
Oh, it's what's her face that stayed behind.
Okay, so it was
Yeah.
Vice Admiral
Yeah.
motto, and I was like, we have never established a god or gods in this universe.
True.
It's
Yeah.
all the Force.
True.
Like when Han said, "See you in hell," I brushed that off in Empire because there could still be a hell.
mhm.
Yeah.
Like, but they've never mentioned any gods or anything like that.
Yeah, see,
so when
if
she
it-
said
if this-
Godspeed, I didn't catch that the first time I watched the movie, but the second time I was
Yeah.
like, Godspeed. Why would you say that? That doesn't like
yeah.
any one of us would say that because we
That's
all
the thing.
like
Yeah, that's the thing.
whether or not I
God
don't.
is a thing.
Yeah, like God is a thing or at least an idea in
Yeah.
our universe,
Yeah.
whether you believe or not. Everyone believes in some sort of deity except for atheists.
Yes.
But like Godspeed, even I could see an atheist even saying
It's a
Godspeed
very
because it's a
earth-
term
yes.
term.
used.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like,
it's a
same.
Yeah, but for her to
reality-based
say that, I
perception.
was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Like, come again? I was like, why would you say that?
Yeah.
That-
I
that-
don't think they even call
like,
it.
I
to
feel
tell you the
someone
truth.
should have caught that in the
I
ending.
don't
Someone
think
should
they
have been
did.
like, we need to bring the chick from Jurassic Park back. We need to redo that line and just dub it over.
Yeah.
We need to,
Yeah.
we
We
need
need
to
to
say,
ADR
may
that
the force
right
be
out.
with you.
The Jurassic Park
Something, because Godspeed does not
Yes.
work.
No,
Yeah, it doesn't work in Star Wars.
Another
yeah.
thing that does not work is Yoda. I could have done without
Oh, no,
Yoda.
no, 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 no,
I actually know what.
no, no,
Hold on.
It's a,
Yoda,
it's a,
hold on.
I know
I
what bugs me. I
love
figured
Yoda.
out what bugs me about Yoda. Let me just get this out before you
Love
get your thing.
Love
The
Yoda.
thing about Yoda that bugs me, that bugs the hell out of me, and I figured it out in the theater, is the fact that the way they did his special effects were wrong.
Why?
When he came back as a Force Ghost at the end of Jedi, all those Force Ghosts were transparent.
Mm-hmm.
This was just a puppet with a fucking glow. And that
Yeah.
bugged me a lot because it doesn't fit with the aesthetic at all.
Mhm.
Granted, the last movies we saw Yoda in, he was
A lot.
completely CGI.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that we'd also gotten used to that.
Mhm.
The fact that they went back to a puppet was a little bit jarring.
Did
The fact
they go
that
back to a puppet?
Yeah, they
because
did.
Yeah,
I
you
thought
could tell.
it looked
They
like
did.
a
You
puppet.
could tell.
They went back to
I
a
was
puppet.
saying to the
They
person
didn't
I
do
saw
the
it.
effect right, and also because of that stupid freaking bad lip reading, the fact that they went back to a puppet. That's all I kept thinking about was him singing that damn seagull song.
Yes!
That's
See,
all I kept thinking
my only
about.
problem with that scene was, so Yoda comes visiting him, which is fine, But who in the original trilogy always came to give Luke advice? What?
It was Obi-Wan.
It was always Obi-Wan.
Yeah. So
and
that was
yes,
the- that was the
Sir
other
Alec
thing.
Guinness is
I didn't
dead.
even have a chance to answer that question.
But-
since he answered
Yeah, but we could have like put age makeup on Ewan McGregor and have him come back and
It
play
would have
Ghost.
been fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was kind of
Yeah,
like
but Yoda, like. everybody
no,
thought-
Yoda wasn't his mentor though. Obi-Wan was always his mentor. Oh, like when he was having his problems with Yoda, and he's like getting pissed off, and he's gonna go back to the Cloud City. Who comes to calm him down?
Yeah.
Ben does, and that was my thing. Is like it really should have been Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah.
If we're only gonna have one Force Ghost,
I agree
personally,
with that.
I wouldn't have mind seeing
Two?
Anakin and Obi-Wan there. And I know people hate Hayden Christensen. It ain't his fucking fault.
Yeah.
Right.
I would have liked
Those movies are just bad.
Yeah.
And I think with a better director, Hayden Christensen would have been fine because he was okay in Jumper, and he was in another film with freaking
Oh, the like.
Dennis
gangster
Quaid.
movie?
No,
What?
I was like, it's like a Lake by a House, something like with Dennis
Oh,
Quaid,
never
and he was fine in that. So he's not a bad actor. He had a shitty director, and when George Lucas. And like even if you look at like Natalie Portman, she's terrible in those movies
Yeah.
because she's another one of those actresses who need a good director
Yeah,
to
she
get a good
needs-
performance
she
out
needs
of
a
her.
good director.
Oh, by the way, Nelson, we were talking about that. Speaking of Natalie Portman, that new movie she's in. We saw the trailer for Annihilation.
Yeah.
Did you see who the director was?
No.
The guy from Ex Machina, one of our favorite.
Oh yeah, that was the other thing. That's right. I forgot. That's actually one of the other things that caught my attention, like from the director of Ex Machina. I'm like, oh, this might actually be really good.
Mhm.
So I'm cool with that. So that's one of the things that has me thinking about doing Movie Pass.
Damn.
Because I'm like, I saw
All
a
right.
couple of previews.
Can he stop? He's just like, jeez.
Oh, he's cheap as hell.
Yeah, he's just like.
Whoop.
He's Kylo Ren in it.
Yeah.
Holy.
So what I didn't like is another part of that whole Yoda saga or whatever
Yeah.
is him using lightning to set fire to that tree.
Because Luke was indecisive.
So
I-
it was always my understanding that when
Well,
you're a part of the Force, you
Yoda
cannot.
was like, "Here, I'll just make your mind up for you."
Well,
but,
here's
but the problem is that he was able to do it as a
Yeah.
Force Ghost. And I don't think that's
well,
possible.
the thing
He's
about
Yoda.
the only thing, like, I'll give you that. Yes, the lightning was kind of out of character because most Force users that use lightning are on
evil.
the dark
Well,
side.
no, he didn't use the
But
lightning.
that's what I was
called it
getting
down.
at. That. I was getting at that, Josh. He didn't directly use lightning. He just kind of called it forth. With the Sith Dark Force users, it comes directly from them.
Mhm.
He just kind of like summoned the forces, changed the air mixture, fucking changed the polarity, did something. He didn't do it directly.
But I didn't
So
think
I
that
didn't
Force
have that
users
much
were
problem.
supposed to be able to interact with the living in that regard, or elements they are no longer a part of.
You mean since he's dead?
I don't know how that really works.
Well, they were kind of changing things up because Luke being able to project himself solidly like that to Kylo, where everyone can see him, that's never really been established in the movies either.
yeah, that was news.
So
to
they were
me.
just kind of like doing like it. They kind of brought it in that show Rebels, like Yoda did it.
Okay.
But at the same time, again, that's supplemental material.
Yeah.
That stuff needs to be established in the movies.
I also didn't know how I felt about how in that final fight, Luke Skywalker was rocking his hairstyle from Return of the Jedi.
He's also
He
kind of
was
rocking
a-
like
he
his.
was a figment of his own
Within the-
mind. So
Yeah,
he can
I
make
had-
himself look however he wants to.
That
Yeah.
that
So I was like, did he get a haircut and shave his beard a little bit? Like,
You sound
shit's in
just-
dire needs.
now's not the time to be.
Luke,
dazzling
yeah, it's
like-
like now's not the time to get your hair did, son.
Hell, dude,
Yeah.
fucking yeah, make
Well, he
yourself
was
look
going to
good.
see his lady before riding off to.
his lady. You mean his sister?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I like as much as I liked the fight scene, I did have some
Did
issues with
she
it.
know? Did she,
She had
know
to.
that he
I think
was
she did,
not
yeah.
really
She felt
there?
Yeah,
She
I
had
think
to.
I think she. I think.
Which is
she-
why I think she left the dice.
Yeah.
Because she knew they weren't real; they were a projection.
Yeah.
Which also, why didn't the dice fade away when Luke faded away?
Yeah. They should.
Like, why did it wait
when
for
he faded
Kylo to
away.
pick him up? Which,
Yeah.
by the way, the dice I feel are going to be a big part of the Han Solo movie because they were actually in the Millennium Falcon in the original trilogy.
Oh, were they?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
like someone like posted some screenshots.
Okay.
Well, there was an interview with Mark Hamill about when he first got onto the Millennium Falcon when they first started shooting, and he was for 8, and he had a moment where like his family was there and everything, and it was like coming back to it, and he actually like broke down in tears because like the memories and not being on it for so long and everything. So
yeah, I mean something like that would be very surreal for someone to just come back to. So I can understand that. But yeah, I did have my issues with that fight though.
Yeah.
They were
I thought
kind
the
of
fight
small.
was awesome. Like, I
Well,
was like,
here's the
shit.
thing. There's I have an issue with one part, like the beginning part of the fight, because there was an editing mistake.
What?
What?
When Luke dodges that first strike from Kylo Ren, they switch places. Okay, they go to a single of Kylo Ren, and he switches his the way he holds the lightsaber to a reverse grip, which was annoying me anyway because they're just taunting me with stuff from the Force Unleashed.
I don't think they're taunting any kind of force.
But
unleashed
anyway,
thing, but-
that's besides the point. That's a personal thing. But so they cut to that single where he's switching to a reverse grip. Then they cut to a wide shot that has both Luke and Kylo Ren in the shot, and Kylo is not holding the lightsaber that way.
He's holding it kind of like this, right?
He's holding it straight.
Okay.
He's holding it straight. And then they cut back to Kylo, another single, and then he has it still, reverse grip, and then he switches the hands. So that bugged me a little bit, because I noticed it right off the bat.
Wow.
It's a continuity error that's not uncommon with movies, but I don't notice it right off the bat.
I feel you nitpick the shit out of
So
that.
Yeah,
that actually
was
annoyed me.
something that would take me 3 or 4 times to watch it.
What
That
did-
actually annoyed me.
I don't know.
What actually
I thought I noticed something like that, but I wouldn't have been able to explain it in that detail.
What annoyed me about the fight is certain times we saw the two of them, the ground was white, and other times it was red.
That
Well,
one
that
I
was-
didn't
that
notice.
was
y'all
actually
are
on
like
purpose, though.
really detailed.
Because with Luke, I mean, he could.
No. I don't mean the footsteps. I'm talking about the entire ground where both of them were standing.
It should have been red the entire time.
Yeah,
It was
because
all
when
the
Luke
fire.
got when Luke got blasted,
Yeah.
and it was completely red, and then it switched to white.
Yeah. And that's not something that I normally nitpick at, but it was very noticeable to me, and it kind of jarred me. And then I just wasn't a fan of them switching to reverse grip.
Yeah.
It's just because that's not the style that they do in Star Wars. That's never really been in there, with the exception of the Force Unleashed video game. But that's not canon anymore.
Right.
But yeah, it's little thing. It was, I don't know why, for some reason those little nitpicks bug me, because that never really happens to me that often.
Because
in
you're an
games.
old man and you're becoming nitpicky and curmudgeonly?
No, that is not the
Because,
case.
Because a reverse
I feel like
a reverse grip with a lightsaber, I feel that's way too nitpicky, Jason.
That is
Yeah,
But
I told you were gonna roll your
Yeah.
eyes at me, but this is just a personal thing. I don't hold it against the movie. It just kind of annoys me a little bit.
I rolled my eyes so hard my contacts fell out.
Thank you. But the whole thing about Kylo Ren, like having different saber, different positions for his saber, that kind of jarred me because it was noticeable for me. Because I didn't expect to see that right off the bat,
Right.
and I did, and it was
So
annoying.
let's talk about the saber battle between Rey and Kylo, where they're both struggling to get the same
It's
saber.
like a
Yeah.
war.
But there's one on the ground.
They want Luke's.
I think it was because they both wanted Luke's.
They
That's
wanted
what I
No,
took.
but at the same time, if somebody was gonna kill somebody, like I'd have been like, up, slice,
Now now remind
roll
me
credits.
that lightsaber was also Anakin's, right?
Yeah.
That's why Kylo Ren wanted it, because it was Darth Vader's before the red one, because that was the one that Obi-Wan took after he left him to die. So that's why he wanted that one. But yeah, I feel like the first half of the movie was the weak part.
The first.
I enjoyed it more once we got into it on the second half.
Yeah, I'm still not really sure how I.
I
feel
think I
about
need to
with
see it
everything
again.
that
I
happened.
do think I need.
Yeah,
to see it.
it's definitely a you gotta watch it multiple times. I feel to really
I
get
think I'm gonna try to go tomorrow.
to really get the taste of it. Like
Yeah, because after talking to you with it about it after you saw it for the second time, I did remember I did notice that your demeanor kind of changed on the movie.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, maybe I do need to see it one more time just to really get the full effect on that one.
So let's talk about Mark Hamill's impression of the movie.
He is not happy with it.
I don't blame him.
Yeah, the way they used him was not the greatest.
Yeah, no, I agree.
But he should have known that when he was getting further and further into the movie. Like, don't you know how your character's going?
Well, no, with the Star Wars movies, like you're given like a script on a need to know basis, like.
Yeah.
And like a lot of people are theorizing that when Luke fades away, that's not Mark Hamill, that's another actor because they wrote that in and didn't tell Mark.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so a lot of people
that would explain
like
why it was
that.
a silhouette when he disappeared.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that probably pissed him off.
How can you do that?
Because Ryan Johnson, I think, is a dick.
Yeah, no.
Like,
I really don't think that he likes Star Wars movies. Like either that or
Then
he's never
why
seen one.
do one? Why direct one if you don't like it?
Because he probably saw it as an opportunity to get bigger productions.
Well, yeah, I mean,
But people are shitting on your movie. Like,
Well,
the
right,
people
but-
who have gone and seen it don't like it.
But here's
But
the
today,
thing.
he's
But he
the
didn't
only,
know that
he's
was
the
gonna
only
happen.
director that can say that he killed off Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, and
You know what I mean?
it doesn't matter because the movie's going to make over $1 billion. Critics love it, so that's all Disney needs.
Right.
And that's all other studios really look at sometimes.
Yeah.
Critics loved your film. You made $1 billion.
Yeah.
Because all he has to do is explain away like, oh, it's just the stupid fanboys.
Right.
They just.
But
Yeah,
isn't there,
he
but I
can
heard that there's
get
actually a
bigger
petition
projects.
to remove it from canon.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. I was like, they can petition.
No,
that
they can
all
petition
want.
all they want. Disney ain't gonna do that
Yeah.
unless they really, really want to.
Well, like redo an 8.
I don't know how they would
Redo an
remove-
8?
Well, but
I
the
don't
way
know how
that,
to do that,
but
yeah.
the way that people are going to retaliate is they're just not going to see the next movie.
They will though.
I know I will.
Well, I mean,
That's the thing. Because next year is not going to be a canon film. It's going to be
The Han Solo.
Han
Well,
Solo.
no, technically that is canon.
well, it's not going to be like the anthology, or not the
Okay.
anthology. It's not going to be the main story. It's going to be an anthology film. So people are going to have time to forget that they hated it enough to not want to watch the next one.
has
Yeah.
anybody forgotten their hate for Batman versus Superman?
No.
That's different though,
How's it different?
because it's not Star Wars.
Well, that and
It's deep.
well, there's the thing.
Doesn't matter.
Hold on, but
There's that and
So
and
hold
we're-
on. Superman's been around since Genesis. You mean to tell me that because
Genesis.
But
Star
the
Wars-
Superman movies have not been.
Yeah, and plus with Superman, you don't have the same kind of love for that character as
That's not
people love for
true.
Star Wars. No, it is true because a lot of
There
people.
are huge.
Well, I'm not saying.
Superman, Batman,
Okay,
X-Men
Steph, I'm not
followers.
saying. Well, A, X-Men is Marvel. B, Superman. A lot of. So here's the
I
thing.
don't
Here's the
care.
thing, Steph. I'm not saying there aren't Superman fans, but the average comic book fan will probably tell you they don't particularly care for Superman because he's a cheat code. Superman,
He is a cheat code.
Superman as a character has a problem of connecting and relating with the average audience now. Superman is pretty much the progenitor of superheroes in general. So that's why he was made of the time. He could do anything that an average man couldn't, but then over time, he's been so overpowered that most people now that read comic books, they have a hard time connecting with that character. A lot more people connect with Batman because he's, minus the money, he's an average guy.
Not to mention, if you look at like the fandom of Star Wars, it is way more like ravenous. I mean, and also comic books only reach so many people.
Yeah.
Where Star Wars, it seems like everybody.
Yeah, it seems like
Yeah,
since the
but
first
now
movie,
that you
everyone has
have
hopped
now
onto
you
it.
have like all these movies coming out from the comic
And
book.
that's fine. They're gaining their popularity. But let's see where they are 30. Let's see where these comic book movies are 30 years from now. That's
yeah,
the
because I
thing.
mean, if you go back and watch the original X-Men movies, sometimes they're kind of hard to watch.
They are.
Yeah,
Unless
they're
you're
hard to
really in the mood to watch X-Men 1, you're probably not going to watch it. X-Men 2, I might watch it, but I might want to watch something else that's from the MCU.
Right.
Yeah, so it's definitely not the same when you
Well,
look
how
at.
about Star Trek and Star Wars?
I still say Star. Well,
See, I'm a little bit of both.
well, a lot of people are a
I
little bit
love
of
my
both.
Star Trek, and I will defend it all day
I mean,
long.
I like both.
Star Wars is the same for me too.
Well, I mean, look at the outcry of Star Trek fans with Benedict Cumberbatch being Khan.
I
'Cause-
liked him as
well,
Khan.
Well, you liked it, but a lot of the Star Trek fan base did
Because
not.
I knew it before they even said who he was
Well,
gonna be.
Everybody
the problem
knew
with
it.
that is because it doesn't work out for him being Benedict Cumberbatch. Because leading up until the
Khan
first
was
Star
an
Trek
Indian,
movie, the
played
first
by,
reboot Star Trek
Hispanic.
movie, the history is still the same.
Yeah.
So there's no reason for Benedict Cumberbatch to be Khan because it still should have been someone that looks like.
No, they changed the timeline. They're living
It
on
doesn't-
a totally
no,
different
No,
because-
but the
timeline.
Khan stuff.
Because the Khan stuff takes place before the original series, before
fucking
even
shit.
Starfleet. That's the thing. That's the
It
problem.
did. The story, yes. Khan himself did.
Yeah, no, he did because he was
He
like
did.
frozen in
I am
time.
agreeing with you.
Yeah, that's the problem. That's the problem with That's the problem that Star Trek fans have with Benedict Cumberbatch being Khan, because he should not have been Khan. Khan should have
That's
been
not
someone.
technically true.
No, it is true. That's the problem because there's no reason that the timeline skewing should have changed his ethnicity. There's no reason it should have. You can't defend that.
Well, Nick Fury black, so I mean, like, I'm.
Well, Nick Fury. That Nick Fury's a different.
I'm kidding.
That's a
I'm
different.
just kidding.
That's a
I'm just-
different
I'm
thing.
Just kidding.
That's a completely different thing. But that's the problem that Star Trek fans have with Benedict Cumberbatch being Khan. No matter how
I
hard
like
you try
him
to
Khan.
don't get
That's-
me wrong, I like
Stephanie, no offense, we don't care what you like. I brought it up as an example of the ravenousity of the fan base.
I
The Star
get
Trek
it.
yeah, but you're arguing it.
Yeah,
against
you
the-
are.
I'm just saying I liked him as Khan.
I know, but
You're still arguing.
Yeah, you're still arguing.
I'm not
That's not the
arguing,
point.
I
I'm
like
trying to
him
explain why they don't like it because
Yeah.
it doesn't work.
Hold on, we're supposed to be
I'm
bashing
just saying-
on Star Wars. What happened? What happened with that?
Somebody brought up Star Trek.
Star,
That's what happened.
Because I'm trying to compare.
Star Trek sucks. Fight me.
No,
The
it
new
doesn't.
Star Trek is way better than anything that came before it.
Star Trek does not suck.
Yeah, once Chris Pine became the captain.
Jesus Christ.
What?
Josh wasn't a Star Trek fan, so it didn't matter.
Wait.
That's what I was
So-
talking about too.
You're not a Star Trek fan at all?
No, he's not.
No Next Generation, Voyager?
Absolutely.
I can watch
not.
Next Generation.
Next Generation is
Voyager
mine.
is not really my.
That's
I like
my
Voyager,
show.
but that's
Yeah.
my personal preference because I didn't like Deep Space Nine.
Deep Space
Yeah.
Voyager sucked.
I
And
fucking hated Deep Space Nine.
Deep Space Nine was another one. Enterprise was
watch
a
it.
good show. I liked Enterprise.
I never watched it. I wanted to because it had got Bakula in it, but they kept changing the times, and I was like, fuck this. They kept changing the
I
time
think
slots.
it's either on. No, it's not on Netflix. Is it
Oh,
on
I'm
Netflix?
long past the point of caring. Because, I mean, as much as I enjoyed Star Trek as a kid, I will still watch Next Generation every once in a while if the mood strikes and it's on. I don't know that I am the same kind of fan anymore. But at the same time, I also don't know that I'm as much of a fan of Star Wars as I used to be.
Yeah.
I feel like I've kind of grown into a casual fan at best.
It's called getting old.
The only video game that I particularly enjoy playing from Star Wars is The Force Unleashed. Other than that, it's just like I can't. Like, I remembered being excited for The Force Awakens. I still
remember.
liked it.
Yeah.
I still like it, but it's like I haven't watched it since Josh.
You
bought
didn't
it.
watch it before you went and saw 8?
No.
That's the first thing I did.
Because I didn't know I was gonna go watch it last night. So
I really wish these like training things would not pop up on.
So
me
it's one of
all
those
the
things
time.
where like I didn't get a chance to, and I just didn't have the want to.
Right.
It's just like I like The Force Awakens. I still think that I like Rogue One, but I haven't watched it in a while. but I don't feel that I'm the same kind of fan as I used to be because I do remember enjoying Star Wars a lot more.
Yeah.
And I wasn't excited about The Last Jedi. I didn't feel like Disney did anything to hype it up for me.
Mm-hmm.
And when I finally watched it, I was kind of disappointed. Like, the whole thing with Rey's parentage was dumb. The whole first half of the movie was kind of boring.
Yeah.
And then there were just other issues that arose with the movie, and I don't know. I guess I'm just not that.
One of my biggest problems with the movie is the main plot is it's a slow speed chase through space.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And it starts early. Like, that's...
Like right off the bat, almost?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's tough. It's like, I don't get it. I don't understand why... I don't know. It's just... I mean, I'll go see episode 9. I'm more than likely.
Oh,
You
got a
gotta
Dynasty
finish the
Warrior.
trilogy.
Yeah, I gotta at least finish the trilogy.
Yeah.
But what I like, I need to see this one more time because I don't know if I like this
Oh
more.
shit! He's fighting me. I thought he was on my team.
Nope,
Shit!
he is against you,
And he is whooping my ass.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, he worked your entire
He
squad.
looks like one of the. I think he's actually.
He's one of the
from
Dynasty Warriors guys. That's why I thought he was on my team.
Yeah, what the hell?
I don't know who this person is.
He doesn't like the Guaylo
I don't know.
because I can't remember what the freaking Japanese term for that was. Izzo, help me.
Huh? What?
What's the Japanese equivalent of the Guaylo?
What's a Guaylo?
Outsider, Gringo.
Gaijin?
Gaijin. Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, because Guaylo, I was like, that's from freaking Dragon the Bruce Lee story.
So is that Chinese?
Yeah, Chinese.
See.
So you do it.
But yeah, I don't know. Well, hopefully it gets better.
I just love how hectic these games are. You don't know what's going on. You're just like,
That looks like something out of freaking Hyrule Warriors right there. That little beacon.
well, yeah, it's like all these heroes from different games have been brought together to save this thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I've gathered.
Yeah, I mean that's what I understood from looking at the cover.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't even know the dude from Neo was in here. All I saw was freaking...
That's what made me want to get the game version. I was like,
Oh,
oh
really?
shit, William from Neo's in there.
Because all I saw on the cover was freaking characters from DOA. I was like, is that Kasumi?
Right.
Oh, Kasumi.
And then you pointed out like Ryo Hayabusa and I didn't even see Ayane.
Yeah, I wonder how many Dead or
DOA
Alive
characters?
characters are in this.
All of them. Because that was something that I always liked about the Dynasty Warriors games. They had a shit ton of characters. Except for Samurai Warriors. They only had like 10. It was a good game, but damn it, they skimped out on the characters there. I don't know if it's a lack of like warriors from their legends or if they were just being cheap. I don't know.
Yeah, so I think that's all I got left on Last
Star
Jedi.
Wars, yeah.
I think
we've beaten
I'm-
that to death.
I think I'm spent.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like I said, it's better the second time through.
Yeah.
But yeah, it definitely leaves you wanting, and not in a good way.
Yeah.
Like not like, oh, I'm wanting to see the next movie. It's like there
I
could have
want
been
the
more to
rest
this
of the movie
yeah.
that I paid to see.
Yeah, so honestly, like, so
I feel like it's half a movie.
I told I was telling my girlfriend that when we were walking out of the theater, I was like, I feel like I'm gonna have to be up all night trying to read things online, just trying to explain everything that just happened in this movie.
Oh yeah, because like I need to see it again just to decide whether or not I like this more or less than Revenge of the Sith.
Going back and
Revenge of
watching
the
the
Sith.
second time, I definitely like it better than any of the prequels.
Okay,
So
because I mean,
Damn, that's
I
a
liked.
lot.
Well, I think I liked the Revenge of the
so
Sith.
there is a new hope.
Oh,
Take that with you.
oh man.
Good night.
Mm. Oh, that was a joke I could have gone with.
Just like Last Jedi.
Oh yeah, you're on a roll. But yeah, it's like I don't know if I like it more or less than Revenge of the Sith. 'Cause I liked it.
Revenge of the Sith had a nice fight scene at the end.
I could say very easily it was the best of the prequel trilogy. I've always said it's watchable, but that's not a glowing review.
Okay, these yellow people are not on my team. Got that?
That's racist.
Maybe.
Yeah.
They're
There's a
cat
lot of
people,
yellow
though,
people.
so-
It's a joke.
I was like, they're cat people, so
It's a joke. It was a joke.
I know.
Bravery up!
My friend just said, it's probably going to be another pile of what the fuck. Number 9.
No, JJ's back with it, so I think.
At least it'll make some sense.
Yeah, I think we'll get answers to the questions we had from episode 7.
Yeah.
Like good answers.
Yeah.
So on that bombshell,
Yep.
That's
a wrap, man.
we're gonna have to end tonight's podcast. Again, Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year to everybody.
Merry Christmas.
Because the next podcast won't air till after the New Year, so we'll
Yeah.
wish everybody a Happy New Year now. So yeah, so that's it. Nelson, cut the camera.
Alright. May the force be with you all.